Kansas State, you can't play Oklahoma every game. Welcome to the Voice of College Football as we break down the Power 5, and we're in the Big 12 with basically, man, this is the guts of the Big 12 right here. This is a crying shame that this team will no longer most likely be in the Big 12 or the same Big 12 that we know and love as a Power 5 team. Bill Snyder took one of the worst programs in the history of college football. Look up the records prior to Bill Snyder taking over, and he built the program, made it a top 10 team on several occasions, lifted them to the cusp of a national championship game a couple times. Then, of course, he went away as he retired, came back, and lifted them again, not quite to the same status, but still winning 8-9 games a year, and now he's left. And, of course, it's Chris Kleiman's program, but we look at those uniforms and we think Manhattan, Kansas, Bill Snyder. And now the program's in jeopardy of being off to the abyss in the group of 5. We shall see what happens in the offseason as things move around and alliances are formed. And let's get to 2021 with Kansas State coming off a 4-6 campaign. Got off to a great start at 4-1, but they lost 5 consecutive games and were completely outplayed once Skylar Thompson, their quarterback, was injured. My little comment off the top obviously alluded to the 2 wins over Oklahoma the last 2 years, 2 mighty upsets against the Sooners, winning 38-35 this past season. And the year before, they blew out Oklahoma in the fourth quarter. In both games, they were down double digits and came back to beat Oklahoma. Well, they got the Sooners again, obviously, as everybody in the Big 12 plays everybody. But it all starts out in an NFL stadium for both Kansas State and Stanford. Interesting Week 1 game that few were talking about, with most of the nation's sights set on Clemson, Georgia, UCLA, LSU, and Alabama, Miami, and others. But Kansas State and Stanford, nice little ball game at Cowboys Stadium to start the season. Call it a toss-up. And then Kansas State takes on Southern Illinois. They've got Nevada in the non-conference as well. So it could be 3-0. It could be 1-2. Nevada's got one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Carson Strong. NFL scouts drooling over this kid. So again, Kansas State has a history of losing to FCS and group of 5 teams. So that's going to be critical to their bowl hopes, going at least 2-1 in the non-conference play and not slipping up that second time before the Big 12 starts, because they come out of the gate against 3 difficult conference opponents at Oklahoma State, Oklahoma at home. You got to think the Sooners are going to be extra revved up for that one. Then Kansas State's got a bye week before taking on Iowa State. So they do not, of course, want to get off to an 0-3 start in the Big 12, but that could likely happen. Then things lighten up, obviously, going to Lubbock against Texas Tech. TCU at home's a winnable game, although I believe the Horned Frogs are going to be a dark horse in the Big 12. Kansas on the road has to be a win, of course. West Virginia and Baylor at home. They wrap up with Texas. So pretty much after Iowa State, everything's a toss-up. I would say that the odds are against them on the road to Texas and against TCU, but otherwise the odds are in their favor against Texas Tech and Baylor. So when I look at that collection of games, outside of the win against Kansas and outside of the most likely losses, like 85% certainty against Iowa State and Oklahoma, 90%. Against the other teams in the Big 12, that would be another 6 teams. And Kansas State's pretty much got toss-up games against all of them. They're going to go 4-5 in the conference. They're going to go 6-6 overall with a loss to Stanford to open the season. Kansas State, 6-6. They make bowl play, and they go 4-5 in the Big 12. My thoughts on the Wildcats. Leave your record projection down below. Please like the video, share the video out on social media, and, of course, join us each and every day here at the Voice of College Football, where we deliver content as well as live streams, call-in shows, all of it right here at the Voice of College Football. See you next time.